everyone, Darkside Phil here, and welcome to a channel update. Today is October 12th, I believe? October 12th. It is October 12th, 2011. And some things I feel that I need to address. This is going to be a very important channel update for those who are interested in the Dark Souls playthrough. Anyone who's been concerned about maybe some of the stuff that's been going on with the Dark Souls playthrough. Not only the gameplay, but what's been going on in the comments in the community regarding this playthrough. But anyway, a couple quick things before we get to the meat of it, because I want to obviously talk a little bit about some things coming up. Number one, New York Comic Con is on Saturday. I will be there all day with John Rambo and OJ. OJ will have a table in the Artist's Alley. We will be there during some parts of the day, but we can't tell you or guarantee you when, because we don't even have the schedule of events or whatever. But when we get there, we're going to be spending all day there covering the con. We would love to meet some fans. Anything you'd like to get signed or anything like that, come check us out, okay? I did hear that unfortunately the Saturday only passes are sold out. So I wouldn't recommend you just showing up at New York Comic Con on Saturday if you haven't already bought your passes, because they are sold out. You're going to end up, if you want to get in, they're going to force you to buy like a 3-day pass, which in my opinion is a fucking ripoff, and it's just a way for them to make more money. But anyway, unfortunately the Saturday only passes are sold out, but if you have tickets already, or if you're planning on going more than one day, you want to maybe buy a multiple day pass, you can still get that and you can come see us, okay? Other thing, please follow me on Twitter. I know I say this in every single update video, but I have to keep reiterating it because every time I mention it, more people follow me on Twitter, and then more people are in the know of what's going on with me, and I get less ridiculous, superfluous questions, okay? So, they call me DSP. That's where I am on Twitter. Follow me. Again, I only use Twitter for important gaming information, such as, okay, this set of videos is uploading, okay. For example, this video right now, I tweeted, I'm uploading a must-watch channel update in regards to Dark Souls, so please be on the lookout for that tonight. This is the kind of stuff that I use my Twitter for, not for an unnecessary, every 5 seconds sending out a tweet about nonsense, which a lot of people do, and I know that's a reason why a lot of people don't like Twitter and don't use Twitter. So, please follow me on Twitter. Okay, by the way, I'll probably be tweeting from New York Comic Con, explaining what kinds of stuff I see there, so you can know what kind of footage to expect when I get home. Okay, so now that that's all taken care of, right off the bat, I'm going to tell you, as of today, it's Wednesday, it's already 8 p.m. here. Well, actually, you probably maybe see the clock over there, it says 7:42 p.m. But I'm not doing any new gameplay footage today, and the reason is because I did a 16-hour, actually it was more than 16 hours, marathon of Dead Rising 2 off the record yesterday, along with John Rambo. We did a full co-op playthrough of the game from start to finish, 78 parts. It was fucking grueling, but we enjoyed it, and we're glad we did it, and we're glad we got that game done in one sitting, because that's the kind of game, once you get into it, you want to keep going, you don't want to stop. And so that is complete. And it was, we started, John got here on 11 a.m. on Tuesday. I got up early to go get the games and get here on time to meet up with him at 11. We started playing probably right before 12 because we had to get equipment set up or whatever. And we played like for 6 hours straight, went and got something to eat for maybe a half hour, came back, and we just played that game till it was done. Now keep in mind, yeah, we took breaks. We had to swap out memory cards for footage and such. We took bathroom breaks, we got drink breaks, whatever we needed. But we beat the game in one sitting, okay? So that playthrough is now uploaded to DSPGaming. It's the only thing that's been there for the past day. But basically I didn't get to sleep till like 8 a.m., 9 a.m. Today. And I was so beat, I just slept for most of the day. When I woke up, I said I could rush and try to get stuff done now at night, or I could just have a day of relaxation, refocus myself, and that way when I come back on Thursday, I'm well rested, I'm well prepared, especially for what I'm going to be facing on Thursday when I start to play it again, which is Dark Souls, okay? So that being said, no new gaming footage today. Dark Souls will resume on Thursday, okay? Now what I want to talk about, primarily in this video, like I said when I started, what's going on with Dark Souls, the reaction about Dark Souls, and so on and so forth. Well, first of all, I'm so happy that I have a website. Let me tell you, if you haven't heard about it, it's thekingofhate.com. The reason I like this website is because whenever something like this happens, when you get a game that's getting a lot of attention for whatever reason, whether it's positive or negative attention, the website is a good place where people can talk about it and discuss it And obviously Dark Souls is one of these games because I think out of any game I've ever played, more threads have been created on my website and on the forums for this game than any other game I think I've ever played. I mean, that first day when I started playing it, I think there were like 12 threads that appeared, and the moderators were even having problems trying to focus and refocus the threads and keep them, you know, separate, or trying to consolidate them. It was just a hot fucking mess of a time because of everything that was going on. Okay, it was fun. It's good that there's that kind of attention, but it was a very disorganized mess. Okay. So what is the big hoopla about Dark Souls? What's going on with this game? Well, as you know, if you've watched the footage, if you don't know, because you didn't watch the footage, you don't know much about this game. This game is an intentionally hard game. Bandai designed this game to be gruelingly fucking difficult. They want you to die repeatedly. That's the whole point. At the same time, the game is a very logical game, meaning unlike a lot of other games where you have to learn the rules of the world and all of that, if you think with your head, you will probably do better in this game than just going mindlessly with a pattern, which is what most video games are these days. So, yeah, blocking with the shield is probably a better idea than two-handing a weapon and taking massive damage. You probably don't want to jump off a high-up cliff because you're probably going to take damage when you hit the ground. You know, there's all these logical kind of things that are part of the game. And, by the way, Dark Souls has a cult following already simply because Demon Souls, which was the game before this one, made by the same people, got critical acclaim because the game had so much content and because the game was super difficult, but if you took the time to learn the rules of the world, to learn the combat system, to learn the controls, to learn the certain patterns of these really complex enemies, it was rewarding in the long run. You can get a massive amount of hours of gameplay out of the game, and logic can actually prevail in the game, which actually is not the case in most games today. Let's face it, run and gun, hack and slash, you're not using your head. You're just fucking doing reactionary stuff or learning a pattern, and that's how you're beating it. And not so with Demon Souls or Dark Souls. So Dark Souls has a cult following. And I fully well knew when I was going to start playing this game that as soon as I played it, no matter what happened, I was going to get a massive reaction. And I just knew it because a game like this, it's not a typical game that I would play. I skipped Demon Souls, by the way. That was before I was doing things full-time, like, doing YouTube full-time as my job. But I skipped it because I knew it was going to be a time-consuming game. Honestly, at that point, I haven't even heard much about it yet. It kind of got a cult following over time. And so when Dark Souls was announced and everyone said, oh, is he going to play? Is he going to play it? Is this his kind of game? Is he going to play it? And I said I was going to play it. Everyone flipped out for different reasons, but everyone wanted me to play this game, okay? Now, you know me. I'm the kind of guy that when I play a game, I sit down and I jump into the game and I try to give an honest first reaction to what's happening in this game, and I try to find ways to succeed at the game, and I consider myself an average gamer. By no means am I some hardcore guy who is like, you know, a master of every genre of gaming. A lot of genres of gaming I don't even play that much. A lot of them I just broke into this year as I took on this as a full-time job. And so, no, when I play games, I do not by any means say, oh, I'm a master of this game and you should watch me and watch me because I'm better than you and I kick your ass and here's a speed run, amazing skill level gameplay of this game. That's not what I'm about. That's not what I've ever been about, okay? Since day one on YouTube, that's not the kind of footage I've ever put out. And I think that may be a misconception of a lot of people who watch not just my videos, but videos in general on YouTube or whatever of gameplay. They expect every time they see a video, it's going to be some expert level gaming experience. And if someone's, you know, not doing well, oh, that guy sucks and he's an asshole. Why is he even recording this? Because he's not doing well at the game. That's not what I'm about. I've never been about that. For me, my videos, the purpose of my videos are to record the common gamer sitting down, playing this game for the first time, what would their experiences be, and also to kind of make you laugh if there's something funny going on or whatever. In this case, really not much funny going on in Dark Souls simply because it's a really difficult game. It's not something that lends, it's more serious than anything, honestly. It doesn't lend itself really to being a joking or jovial nature when you're playing this game, okay? So the bottom line is this. I played the game for about 4 to 5 hours on Monday, I want to say. And something like 26, 27 parts. I'm not exactly sure what the total part count was. And completely mixed reactions. First of all, let me tell you, one of the most commented on series of videos I've ever done on YouTube. Insane amount of comments, okay? at the same time, insane amount of thumbs up, thumbs down votes. Like, everyone's giving an opinion. And that's good. It's good to give your opinion. It's good to be outspoken. It's good, okay? It's a good thing. And I like that. I like that. It means that whatever I'm doing, if it's getting attention, then obviously something's done right, okay? Now, unfortunately, there has been a reaction to some of the comments and things going on these videos, and people are upset. And people are upset for multiple reasons. They're upset because they don't agree with the gameplay. Some people are upset with me that I haven't learned as quickly as they have wanted me to learn this game, and so it's taking me longer to do stuff. I'm not properly using the controls according to their standards, by the way. I don't know what the actual guidelines are for how you properly play a game or not if you're not losing, you know what I mean? But also, there's a feeling of, wow, why are so many people being negative and saying nasty things and being trolls in the comments of these videos, okay? And what I'd like to do, and this is why I really enjoyed having a website, is I've printed out several comments from a thread regarding the comments being left on the Dark Souls videos from Monday. Now keep in mind, that was day one. It was the first time I'd ever touched the game. I never played Demon Souls. I had zero background in this game. I did read the instruction booklet for basic control scheme, but the instruction booklet actually doesn't tell you a lot of the stuff you need to know, like how to do a jump after a run, how to properly do things like a plunge attack. And yes, I realize that in the tutorial it explained the plunge attack, but they never actually have you do one, so it never stuck. So yeah, so anyway, I digress. What I want to do is read you some of the comments from my forums. There's a lot of them. And by the way, by no means are these one-sided. You're going to hear both sides of an argument. You're going to get both, you know, sides of what's going on. And then I'm going to comment on what I really think, okay? First of all, let me check and see how much time I have left in this video before it stops, because my camera has a 30-minute time limit. Alright, so I've got about 15 minutes to go through these, and it might not be enough time. So if you all of a sudden see me cut off and then jump back, it's because I probably edited the video and put in a part 2, okay? Okay, so first comment I'd like to read. Now keep in mind, this is a comment from someone in regards to the comments being left on the Dark Souls videos on YouTube that I put up on Monday, okay? It says, "These comments are just horrible. Does everyone think that Phil is the holy lord of video games or something? I played and beat Demon Souls around the time that it came out, and I got my ass beat and complained just like Phil. Duh, that's what you do. It's a frustrating game, and it even bills itself as a frustrating game. It's just a natural reaction to have. The comments on DSP's videos are beyond ridiculous and an overreaction. Are you honestly expecting Phil, who's never played Demon Souls, to get good at this game within the first few hours and know everything?" Okay. Another comment. "You know, I hate all these fucking dislikes. People wanted Phil to play this game, knowing that it would take time for him to understand the game mechanics, and now they're all raging. Calm the fuck down and let it take his own pace. You can give him tips to do it in a respectful and helpful way." Okay. Next comment. This was actually my comment, because there was just a couple of comments there in the thread, and my whole attitude here is, at this point, you know, not even all the videos have been put up at this point. They were still uploading, and I saw some of the comments on my videos were something like, "Oh, you suck, but once again, Phil, you didn't spend hours before you played this game to research how to play the game. Oh my god, you forgot one move that it told you how to do in the tutorial of the game." Again, the lunge attack, which, by the way, you never actually do in the tutorial, so you would never understand that's how you do it properly. And so yeah, you know, the comments were pretty nasty. They were basically all insulting me, saying, "Oh, you suck, blah, blah, blah." And so, here's my response to the initial amount of hateful comments that went on my videos. I said, listen, just ignore the comments. I'm sure this series of videos are going to have huge views. So, you know, fuck the idiot haters. Maybe I'll get linked on some fanboy forums like I did back when I was playing Witcher 2 earlier in the year, and so many people will come over to, you know, with their elitist attitudes and shit all over my videos. I'll get more views. You know, that's how I make my money, based off of views. So whether you love me or you hate me, if you leave a comment, if you watch a video, I get paid. And no, by no means am I intentionally playing a game bad, by the way, to try to get this kind of attention. I'm just playing, doing what I always do, and this stuff just happens. So I'm not trying to control it or whatever, but it is what it is, and in my view, even though it looks awfully negative, for me it's not. You know what I mean? So I just go with the flow. So that was my comment, okay? After that, of course, 100 other people jumped into the thread to comment, so let's continue. So the next comment, and this is kind of to the contrary side of what everyone's saying, says, you know, these people are frustrated, not angry. It's not hate, it's actual disappointment. You know that the feeling that you get when you try to teach someone how to use a computer for the first time, but they keep doing things like only single-clicking icons that they're supposed to be double-clicking? Well, that's pretty much the same frustration that I've noticed in the YouTube comments so far. Yeah, a lot of them may be nasty things, but if you read beyond that, they're also saying a lot of things that are helpful. Okay? Now here's another one. That wasn't the comment. That's me burping. Okay, now the next comment. I'd like to point out that perhaps people are disliking these videos because they don't like the actual content. Yes, guys, there are people who don't like when Phil is bashing a game and some of its fans. I know it's super surprising to me too. Now what he's talking about in this comment, just so I can directly explain it to you without responding, is in the videos, when I'm giving my first impressions and my natural reactions to this game, I'm saying, you know, I don't really understand the mindset of the people who are like hardcore fans of this game who think this is like the best game ever. Because I can understand the merits of a game that's difficult. I can understand the merits of a game that's cryptic, and then you feel good when you figure out how to do something that really wasn't explained and you succeed. But at the same time, I don't understand that mentality, because for me a game, and this is me, this is my opinion, a game is sitting on the couch and relaxing and playing something and having fun. And yes, there has to be a challenge factor to it, or else there's no feeling of accomplishment, but not to the point where you actually feel like you're putting work into winning a game. A game is not work. And when you take a game and you turn it into work, that's when it's no longer a game, you know? Football, professional football, and I'm talking about whatever football you like, whether it's the one where you kick the round ball around or you pass this fucking egg oblong shaped fucking thing. I don't care what kind of football you consider real football. But there's a difference between playing it for fun and playing it professionally and getting paid for it. You know what I mean? Now, if I were getting paid to win, if I were getting paid to go to tournaments and win a tournament, if I were getting paid to do a speed run of Dark Souls and beat it start to finish in a certain amount of time, and you know, I worked for IGN and they said, Phil, we want you to write the strategy guide for Dark Souls, and that was what I was getting paid for, I would understand the frustration. I would understand it. But that's not what I do. And as I've said previously in this video and 100,000 times before, that's never been what I do. I play the game at my own pace. I enjoy it at my own pace. This is what the common gamer's experience would be playing Dark Souls for the first time, with absolutely no background on the game and no background on Demon Souls, not doing hours of research beforehand, just sitting down to play the game, okay? And so I read a comment like that, and he says, well, Phil, you're bashing a game and its fans. No, what I'm doing is I'm saying I don't understand the mentality of people who like something that's supposed to be a game that you're casually playing and enjoying, and you treat it like work, and you think it's better because it's difficult to the point where you could consider it work to beat the game. That's what I don't understand. I don't. It doesn't make sense to me. That's actually nonsensical logic to me. It just doesn't click. There's no one-on-one connection to me that I would want to sit down and do work during my relaxing free time. Okay? So let's keep going. Next comment. Yeah, sure, some people are generally pissed off, but a lot of people are raging out of disappointment. And really, as someone who plays video games as a full-time job, especially since it's promoting the games that he sells, it's promoting the game's sales as well. Sorry, it was misspelled. People expect you to take the time and learn to play the game in the correct manner that it was meant to be played. Dark Souls, for example, you keep playing it like it's a hack and slash. It's not. It's a logical thinking game. You have to apply reality. Alright, it's misworded, but basically, you have to treat it with real-life common sense, okay? I've already addressed this in what I just said before. Again, I'm not doing a master-level playthrough. I'm not treating this game as work. Even though it technically is what I do for work, I wasn't hired to do a master-level playthrough by IGN or any other website. I'm responsible for making a playthrough that a common gamer would probably experience while they play this game. And I'll be honest, you're probably not going to see that anywhere, okay? What common person just records a game from start to finish and puts up with this kind of shit that I put up with these comments or whatever? Most people will get frustrated and just stop. I don't let it get to me. You know, this is the uniqueness of my videos. No, I'm not like everyone else on Machinima. I'm not. I don't just sit there playing a game and you know, oh, this is, out of playing the game for 27 hours, I've nailed it down to the best 5 hours I played, where I do perfect gameplay, and here it is, you know? That's not what I do. So if you're expecting that, if you're expecting, as this guy says, we expect you to take time and learn to play the game in the correct manner that it was meant to be played. I'm not going to do hours of research before I play a game. It is a game. And there are going to be other comments here again. Oh, well, it's like chess or whatever. Yeah, you need to know the basic rules for chess. I understand that. But at a minor level, the game is fun. You don't need to know advanced strategies and shit. This game wants you to study it. This game wants you to fucking put in hours of time to learn it. Is that a bad thing? Not for everyone. But for me, I don't get it, okay? That's just me. I don't get it. That's not what I consider a game. But let's keep going, because there's lots of comments to get to, and I just talked for way too long. Okay, next comment. Alright, people don't really understand the timelines of Phil's videos. There's several things that people do not understand, and here they are. Number one, every video that Phil uploads is the only amount of time that he spends on this game. If he plays 4 to 5 parts, well, it's usually 1 hour of game time. People watching the videos often have struggled for the same amount of time on average before figuring out things that Phil hasn't. They just watch the video with knowledge of the game that Phil doesn't have. Fair point. Number two, Phil doesn't read your comments after every uploaded video. He uploads in bulk, so stop making progressively worse comments on his videos as if he reads them every time he uploads a video. If he makes a mistake on part 20 of a video, your comment on that video aren't going to let him fix that mistake for part 21. That's a good point as well. People seem to think that like YouTube is real time. It's not. So if you leave a comment on a video, don't expect me to immediately learn what you've told me and all of a sudden I'm going to be a master of that in the next part of the video. It's impossible. Okay, number three. Phil does not have the same amount of time as his viewers. He plays games constantly. It's his job. What do people do after work? Not more work. I don't find it hard to believe that Phil wants to relax after playing for hours straight. I understand if he doesn't read up on extra information about a game. You're not supposed to have to study to finish a game anyway. People that watch his videos probably did do this for Dark Souls. That's another fair point, and I've already addressed it. A game is a game. It's not work. It's not something you should have to study and learn unless you want to play it on a professional, hardcore level. I'm not trying to be a master of Dark Souls. I'm just trying to get through it. Okay. Up next. Number fourth point here from this comment. The game is hard. It's really fucking hard. On every single trailer of the game on YouTube, people always express how hard this game is. It's only natural that people complain about something that is so hard. Okay? And number 5. Thanks for commenting on the video, making it get more views. You know, Phil's fan base, or maybe I should say hate base, are probably children and or idiots that don't have the mental capacity to understand some of these things. Live and let live. Okay? So maybe I don't necessarily agree with the last thing that was said there. No, I don't think everyone is like that. I just think people get too wrapped up in what the content of the video is. And when you get attached to something, like let's say you really like Dark Souls, you think it's one of the best games ever. You probably get frustrated watching my videos and seeing me not do very well at the game, and sometimes even bad-mouthing the game because I think that things are unfair, the game is not self-explanatory, or that even people that would play this game, which is really considered work, not a game, would like it so much, okay? But that's opinion, and that's my opinion, and that's why a lot of people watch my videos. They want to see the opinion of a common gamer. And I'm sorry, if I say stuff and it makes the game look bad, well, to the common gamer, that really does look bad. Like someone, you'll see there's a comment, well, you know what, we'll wait, because it's coming up. There's a really good comment coming up that I want to respond to. I actually think that I'm running out of time here, so I'll be right back. I'm going to make a part 2 of this video, so I'm going to teleport from behind the camera to in front of the camera. Watch this. Surprise! I told you. Okay, anyway. So a couple more comments to get through here. Next comment. People seem to like writing hateful comments blasting Phil about why he's bad at a game, why he's not doing things that they want him to do, that they want to see, etc. Then they decide to openly admit that they're better, smarter, and faster than Phil, and that they easily beat part of the game. Now what those smart people don't realize is they're making a conversation with a video, not a human. a video. Unless you actually expect Phil to read and respond to every idiotic comment and not block that specific person. Go ahead, keep up speaking to a video that may have just been uploaded and in reality was played hours before it ever was uploaded, wasting your time and eventually ending up getting blocked for your own stupidity, for basically being insulting to me, and then crying to Phil later on because he blocked you. Okay, a couple more to get through. Alright, it's not the fact that Phil is raging over that the game is hard. It is indeed damn hard, but his problems do not stem from the difficulty yet. He has not learned the controls as of yet. Now, I don't know when this guy left this comment. By the end of the series of videos for Monday, I learned most of the basic controls, including locking on and all that. I think a lot of people were pissed at particular things I hadn't learned, and then I was learning it by the end, okay? As a result, people are dumbfounded that he's missing basic control functions like knowing how to lock on. I should have kept reading. Like knowing how to lock on or how to do a light swing rather than a lunging off a cliff. Also, I don't like the idea that any new viewer to his channel should be considered a hater or that he should be trying to exploiting views from them. That's trollish as fuck and not very mature. Not only that, but the idea that they should change their standards and let certain things slide just because it's Phil playing it. Well, I don't think the casual viewer who just saw this up on YouTube's most viewed or whatever the page is, where videos get viewed, are going to care who's playing it. What they're going to see is a guy bashing the game and saying things like, oh, you can only do a lunging strike when the game has a light attack that he's not using. I have to admit, you're right, he does upload in bulk. I'll give you that. Maybe after the tips he's been given, he'll get better at it. It's like Witcher 2 all over again. And what he's referring to is earlier this year I played Witcher 2 for the PC before there was actually a patch that made the game easier to play and made the controls easier, and I complained that the controls really didn't work that well. And the bottom line is, the controls really didn't work that well. But if you spent all this time to learn the intricacies of the controls and how to make these controls work properly in a way that really I don't think they actually intended when they designed the game, then the game could be played and you could be successful at the game. But in my videos, I raged about it. And I said, no, I don't understand why these controls are so gimped, why it doesn't work properly, why you die so quickly. There's all these things I complained about. And all the fanboys of that game raged and left hateful comments on my videos, which is pretty much the same thing that's happening with Dark Souls, okay? Now, one thing I do want to address before we move on, I already said this earlier, but I don't exploit people. I'm not trolling people for views. That's absolutely ridiculous. If you wanted to see that, I could easily take Modern Warfare 3, and from the second I start fucking playing it, say, oh, this game sucks, and this is balls, and wow, only an asshole would play Modern Warfare 3, because that's the game that if I did that, I would get such negative attention for doing it, I'd probably double the amount of money I made on the playthrough. I'm not even kidding, because so many people would come out of the woodwork to hate on me that it would probably be more popular, okay? But I don't do that, okay? The times that I do say negative things about games are when I genuinely have negative reactions to what's going on in the game. So for this guy to try to say that I'm trolling people is completely off base, completely unwarranted, and quite frankly it's insulting that someone would even say that. You can tell that this guy's hurt that I'm talking negatively about his game, and so he's trying to stab at me, okay? Alright, a couple more comments, and then I'm going to give you my feelings on the whole situation, okay? Alright, what I wonder all the time is if he does not understand some part of a game, why he doesn't go look it up. Well, like when the game explained what is a plunging attack, which he didn't pay attention to obviously, and I already mentioned, apparently they did explain it in the tutorial, but I never remembered about it. And for several parts he kept asking, what the hell is a plunging attack? Why did he not think of taking a 1-minute break between videos, Googling it, and figuring it out? It's like he purposely wants to aggravate everything to bring out the hate so he can later hate on the hate comments. Not true. Again, I say, the only reason I have negative reactions is when something really does strike me the wrong way in a game. Now, this is good because someone actually directly responds to this guy and says, because he doesn't have to look it up. He wants to see if playing the game, he can figure it out or get past a certain part before he has to go look up answers. I mean, isn't that part of the fun of a game, figuring it out for yourself? And then the next guy comments, he says, yeah, well, that's like playing Street Fighter without knowing the motion for the Hadouken. Okay. Well, that being said, keep in mind Street Fighter does have a move list inside of the game that gives you all the motions of the game. Unlike this game, going into the pause menu, there's no, oh, plunging attack is press R1 while flying off a cliff, And at the same time, you can still play Street Fighter you can still beat Street Fighter, meaning like the arcade mode. You can still beat people in Street Fighter not knowing any special moves, okay? Now if you want to play at a higher level, yeah, you need to learn the special moves. So, that's kind of a weak argument in my opinion. It's a different kind of situation. But anyway, so as you see, the community is really vocal, really into this whole discussion about Dark Souls. And when it comes down to it, here's my real feeling about it. And honestly, you know, this might polarize people or whatever, but it is what it is, okay? Dark Souls, for me, for my honest, genuine feelings, I think Dark Souls is a game that Bandai, when they designed it, they designed this game, they said, we want to make a game, okay, that someone's going to buy, and they're going to play this game for 4 months, okay? They're going to play it a couple hours a day, and they're going to fail 100 times at something, they're going to pass it, and then they're going to put it down, and the next day they're going to take on the next thing, and the next day they're going to take on the next thing. And, you know, some people, when you take games like this, in doses or whatever, you feel a feeling of accomplishment, because you can say, wow, today I toppled this big guy, or today I figured out how to get through this area, or today I found this secret that gave me an item that really made my character way better, okay? And I understand that. I completely understand that, okay? I don't feel by any means that Dark Souls, and if Demon Souls is like Dark Souls, then Demon Souls, these games are not for people who are actually looking to just sit down and have a casual experience with a game and have fun. That's really not what these games are about, okay? These games are about putting in hard work in measured amounts, because if you do it too much, it's going to feel like you're actually doing a job, and you're actually going to get so frustrated with the game you might not want to play it again. But in measured amounts, putting in hard work and research and practice and trial and error, because a lot of this is trial and error to figure out how to get past certain stuff, so that when you beat that part of the game, you feel a feeling of accomplishment, okay? Like, wow, I did something worthwhile today because I beat that tough son of a bitch, okay? And I don't know. For me, it's funny because for me, okay, I do feel accomplished in a lot of things that I've done in my life. And you know, one of the things that I would love to say, probably one of the coolest things I've ever done in my life is, and by the way, this is one of the things that I get a lot of hate for, and people still talk shit about me for, is when I went to Evolution, and here I was by myself. I didn't go out there with anyone. I had gone out there on my own dime. I had almost no money. Literally, like, I took a credit card, and I took a cash advance on a credit card. Don't in your life ever take a cash advance on a credit card. I'm going to tell you, that's the best advice I can give anyone. Don't ever do that. It's the highest interest rate on the planet. It's the dumbest thing you can possibly do. But I did it. I took a cash advance on a credit card, went out to Evolution in Las Vegas with next to no money. I went there and I played my heart out in Super Turbo, and yes, it was a console version of Super Turbo, and I went on a crazy tear at the Nationals, and I ended up getting 4th place in Super Turbo. And not only that, but the top 3 placers were all Japanese people who had come from Japan, who were like people who played this game a lot, unlike me. So technically that year, I was actually ranked the best Super Turbo player in the country, according to Evolution results. That ended up causing so much controversy, causing controversy, because people said, oh, that wasn't real Super Turbo, that was a PlayStation 1 version of the game, this and that, every excuse on the planet. All I know is I do still have a feeling of accomplishment, whether or not the game play was pure, that I went out there by myself and I had the perseverance, the determination, and the courage to do that and take that crazy risk with next to no money, and to be able to get the highest ranking, US ranking in the tournament that year. And no matter what happens to me for the rest of my life, no one can take that away from me, okay? That's what I feel an accomplishment is for me, okay? And yeah, you can have smaller accomplishments in your life. Don't get me wrong. When I bought my first car, that felt great. When, I don't know, I'm sure when I have my first kid, that's going to be fucking amazing. You know what I mean? There's things that happen that are like landmarks where you feel a sense of accomplishment. I don't think there's ever been a time in my life when I just beat one game, okay? I sat there and I played one video game from start to finish, and I said, oh, wow, I feel so accomplished. This game was so fucking rewarding. It took me 700 hours. Of course, I'm exaggerating. Some people do say, though, that Dark Souls can take like 80 hours to do everything. So I took 80 hours and I did 100% completion on this game, and I feel great, and I'm going to remember this for the rest of my life. Like, I don't know, and that's me. It's okay. I guess it's okay if there's people out there who have that kind of feeling, but I'm not that kind of person, okay? I'm not. For me, when I'm playing a game, I want to have a good time. I want to enjoy what I'm doing without putting in a significant additional hours of work and grinding. Now, there are exceptions. This Gaia 4 I played this year, or this, just a couple months ago, it was last month or the month before, and that game did require grinding. But the grinding wasn't necessarily that bad, and I did it off camera, but I did it at night, and I had a couple drinks when I was doing it, and it wasn't that bad. And when I beat the game, I felt a little bit accomplished, okay, but it's not like I was like, wow, oh, I beat it, you know, oh, this is amazing. I've never had that kind of feeling from a video game before. Now, it would be different, again, like Street Fighter. You might say, oh, Phil, you're a hypocrite. You just said you did really well in Street Fighter and you feel accomplished. No, it's not the game. It's the experience that I went to a tournament and I played it on a competitive level and I persevered. So let me give you the flip side of this. If I were playing Dark Souls in a tournament setting and the tournament was beat it the quickest, or get 100% completion before everyone else, or do the best speed run, do the best playthrough. If I were in this crazy competition, then maybe, yeah, I would sit down and I would put in 100 fucking hours of research, and, you know, I would really want to be the best, and I would feel accomplishment if I won the competition. You're not competing with anyone but yourself when you're playing Dark Souls and you're a common gamer. You are competing with yourself. There's no audience. You know what I mean? Now, yeah, I'm uploading my playthrough, but it's not a competition with anyone. I don't need to prove that my gameplay is at a higher level than anyone else's. Number one, because I'm not trying to fucking grow my EP-ness. I don't care about that shit. I don't need to brag about it. I don't need to brag about anything. I'm enjoying my life, and I don't ever need to say I'm better than you. I don't have that kind of mentality where I have to say that kind of stuff to people, okay? And number two, I just want to have fun. I just want to sit here and enjoy the game at my own pace, and as I'm doing that, you know, it might take me longer to beat the game than anyone else, and it might, you know, be a more frustrating playthrough for people who like the hardcore, high-level gameplay. But I'm going to be honest with you. That's not what I do. That's not what I've ever done. And if that's what you're looking for, I'm sorry, but maybe my videos aren't for you, okay? If you're the kind of person that you watch a video, and just because this guy couldn't figure something out as fast as you did, you go, I can't believe it, he's so stupid. I figured that out in 5 seconds and it took him 5 minutes, oh my god. Then don't watch the video and leave, okay? I'm not telling anyone to fuck off or anything like that, but that's not what my videos are about. My videos, again, I'm going to say it one more time, because I said it so many times in this video. You're watching the common gamer play the game from a common perspective and the viewpoint of, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to try this game for the first time without an amazing amount of research, without an amazing amount of skill, and see how the common gamer would think of this game. And to some extent, that's exactly what my Hateful Truth reviews are of these games. I'm very honest about what I think the common gamer would like, what they wouldn't like about the game, what audiences this kind of game would appeal to. I talk about all the things that those mainstream review places don't talk about because they don't do this. They don't put themselves into the shoes of the common person and think of who would like this game and who wouldn't, okay? That's what the goal of my video is. And because of that, because I'm not doing a super ultra high level playthrough, a lot of the times you get to have a super amount of fun watching me play. You get to see me make silly fuck-ups that you'll laugh at. You get to see me crack jokes because I'm not taking the game so fucking seriously that I have to be intensely focused on every aspect of combat and everything that I'm doing. I can fuck around and have fun with the game, and that's why my videos are different from everyone else's. That's why I'm successful right now on YouTube. Not because I did it like everybody else, but because I did my own damn thing, okay? And I'm not going to change for anyone. So if you're the kind of person that you just can't stand it, you want to see master level playthroughs, you want to see people catch on right away and do super well, and oh, I'm so disappointed, then don't watch. That's all I have to say. I can't change for a certain group of people, no matter how verbose you want to be, and you want to leave negative thumbs downs on the videos, and you want to fucking spam negative comments. You're not used to my style of video. It's pretty apparent. You don't know what I'm all about. You don't understand where I'm coming from. You don't know the reason I even make my videos. So if you don't get it, then move on. okay? That's it. That's all I have to say. The only game that I can really even play at a high competitive level is Street Fighter. And to that case, I'm not even doing it anymore. I don't want to put in the time needed to play those games at a high level, particularly right now because I don't really like them that much. But if there was another one that came about that was more of a hardcore style, yeah, I'd probably play it a little bit more and I'd want to get good at it. But unfortunately right now there's none of those games. They're all kind of watered down for the masses, and they don't really have a lot of that kind of gameplay that I used to like Super Turbo. So that's it, okay? So I'm glad I got it off my chest. I'm glad that people are, talking about it. Again, it's always good to see people are interested and they do have feelings about this kind of stuff. But yeah, if you really have these kind of strong feelings about a game and you can't bear to watch someone not be like a super master of the game or even just catch on quickly, and you don't want to see me play games at my own pace, then don't watch the videos. Or you can watch, if you don't like it, just don't watch the rest of them. I'm pretty sure you're not forced to watch every video that I make. And I've said this before. I actually get people complaining to me, Phil, you put out too many videos. How am I supposed to keep up? Well, I'm sorry to say I agree with you. I put out more videos than any other individual on YouTube, and I will stand by that. I put out more videos than any one individual on YouTube. And therefore, if you are a hardcore fan and you're trying to follow all my stuff, it may be very, very hard for you to follow my stuff and to stay in the know. Well, I'm sorry for that, but it's time to pick and choose which playthroughs you want to watch. And if you were really looking forward to Dark Souls, but you had an unreasonable expectation of what it was, you only have yourself to blame. My fans know how I play my games, so people knew what to expect when they watched the videos, okay? Posting a link to my video on 4chan, and saying, oh, look, here's an asshole who doesn't know how to play Dark Souls. It's completely off base, it's completely off reference. I'm not playing the game hardcore to be a master of it, so let them come over, and that is my attitude. Let them come over and come shit all over my videos. I don't care. I get paid for views. So let these people who are going to freak out because they're so fucking ingrained in their fanboyism that this is the best game ever and everyone should be a master of it, let them come over and fucking shit on my videos and let it be. Because I get paid for it, and that's that. You don't let the hate get to you. You only get stronger. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm not going to change. I'm sorry if it disappoints some of you that I'm not going to give you the quality of gameplay you're looking for this style of game. But that's not who I am, that's not what I did. That being said, I'm going to keep playing the game. I'm going to play it tomorrow. Unfortunately, I have bad news. I spent 2 hours today driving around my area looking for the strategy guide for this game. No stores have it. Just as my local GameStop had told me, no one has it. Anyone who had it sold out and it's just not available anymore. I went online and it looks like I may be able to get it, but even then, I'll already be 3 days, 4 days into the game by the time it gets here, so I'm just going to have to wing it. I do know about the Dark Souls Wiki. I have been looking at the Dark Souls Wiki and found out some stuff. Found out I actually skipped an entire area by accident. That whole church area, which apparently is pretty important to the game, has lots of items and things that make the game easier. I skipped it by accident because I was being chased by a giant fucking knight and I ran into the next area of the game. So when I do play, I'm probably going to go back there, going to explore that area. I am going to try to level up my strength so that I can wield the Drake Sword with one hand and actually use my fucking shield, so that way I actually can block and I'm not taking massive damage every 2 seconds, which is what's happening right now because I'm two-handing the sword. But I'll close by saying this. Thank you to those, first of all, who stick in there. Thank you to those who defend me. Thank you to those who understand the reason behind my videos. But at the same time, thank you to those who give me constructive criticism. Because there's a difference between, number one, just saying, you suck, you're an asshole, you're not good at this game, I'm better than you. That's the super negative comment. Then there's a neutral comment that also really doesn't have any use and is actually detrimental. A comment like, Phil, you gotta use your shield. What's wrong with you? Why aren't you using your shield? That's why you're losing. If you actually watch the videos, you'd find out I did use my shield, and then all of a sudden I found better weapons that were allowing me to kill things much more quickly, but it wouldn't let me wield it as a one-handed weapon and use a shield. That made me force me to use 2 hands, and so I couldn't use my shield. and I couldn't figure out. I even went into stats. I was trying to figure out what level do I need, what stat do I need. I couldn't figure it out from the confusing menu system that's in this game. If you don't put time into learning the menu system, it's confusing as well. So what you should have put in that comment was, Phil, you need a strength level of 16 to hold the Drake Sword one-handed. This would allow you to use your shield and the game will be easier. That's the example of constructive criticism. That's the kind of stuff that I love to see on my videos, because it means that you are watching the playthrough, you're engrossed in it, you're enjoying it, and you want to see me succeed at it, at something I'm getting stuck at. That's what I like to see, and I am reading those comments, and that's probably what's going to allow me to progress in this game. Without that kind of criticism, I'll never figure this stuff out, especially without a strategy guide, which I can't buy. I can't fucking find it anywhere that I could be able to get it within the next couple of days. So, trolls, stay away, you know, or if they're trolling, let them keep trolling. It's a view, okay? But please don't leave me these ambiguous comments that kind of want to help but don't explain how. If you're going to bother to comment, give me some kind of help, okay? That way, I can succeed at the game, and we'll all get through this, you know what I mean? I'm playing it tomorrow, Friday, probably some on Sunday, probably some on Monday, so I still have several days I'm playing this game. Will I beat it? Probably not. I'm probably not going to beat it by next week, and let's be honest, next week with Batman Arkham City, with some of the other games, I think there's like 3 games coming out next week. I'm probably not going to get back to this in a while. I am planning on eventually beating it if I can, I just don't know when I'm going to get to it. But I'm going to play it as much as I can until next Tuesday. So thank you to all you who are sticking in there. And that's that. I think I pretty much said everything I have to say about the subject, and I hope I've cleared things up, and I hope that people will continue to watch the playthrough. If it's not your cup of tea, next week there's going to be plenty of stuff, especially with Batman Arkham City, that's going to be really good, so come back then, okay? Alright, so I'm DSP, thanks a lot. Thanks for sticking in for this insanely long channel update, but it needed to be said. We had to talk about Dark Souls, and I will see you for more gameplay this week. Thanks.